Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the recent news that even if you're just playing by yourself, you're just doing a solo campaign, you will be required to always be connected to an internet connection. So it's more of that always online DRM that we're seeing more and more in games frequently. And how we found out about this is in a FAQ in which they answered some of the community's questions. They were asked, will we always need an internet connection even if we're playing Beyond Good and Evil 2 solo, is asked by Gilgamesh on Twitter, and their response was, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is an online multiplayer game with a rich co-op and seamless experience. As such, the game will only be playable with an internet connection in order to have seamless navigation, receive dynamic updates, and play with friends, which is certainly better when you're playing as a space pirate. The choice to play co-op, however, remains yours to make, so playing Beyond Good and Evil 2 solo is absolutely possible if you're into that lone space pirate kind of thing. And one thing that's kind of funny about this is because apparently in 2017 when they were asked about it, they said that it is very important that you will be able to play the game offline, and I guess that's just not correct anymore. They just flip-flopped on it. Like people on Reddit were talking about, Ubisoft just kind of likes to flip-flop like that. They claim things and then they just don't care about what they've claimed before. But going back on this thing in which they said, they gave 3 reasons why you would need an online connection to play solo. The first was seamless navigation, which means absolutely, I mean, what does that even mean? Like, that's just something that is totally corporate made up, and they're like, okay, we need to come up with some excuses on why we need to force everybody to be always online. In reality, they probably want to have you always have to be connected to online so they can constantly try to shove down cosmetic microtransactions or just microtransactions in general. I don't know if there's going to be pay to win microtransactions or not like that, and if they've said there aren't going to, I mean, they could just go back on what they've said, just like they did with the always online. So I'm assuming they're going to make you want to be on so they can just constantly offer things to sell to you, and there's going to be dailies and weeklies, and even if you're playing solo or anything like that, there's just going to be constant stuff just being forced into your face trying to get you to buy different things. And I mean, maybe even loot boxes, we don't know. I mean, knowing the way the gaming industry is now. But so that's why they probably want it. But my first excuse is for seamless navigation, which means absolutely nothing, because, I mean, you could have a big game without having to always be connected online. It's been done before, and it can be done again. That makes no sense. It's just a complete buzzword that sounds correct. Then they say receive dynamic updates, which the only thing I could think of that applying to is like daily quests or weekly quests or something like that, where they're trying to, constantly give you notifications and stuff like that for things going on in the world, limited time events, all stuff like that. And that makes a little bit more sense to me, but it still could be done in offline. I mean, you could download an update, say they want to do some special, seasonal event, just download an update and it could apply to offline. Or maybe just give the chance to play offline. You can have all this stuff online, but just have a little mode to turn it offline, and, if there's any features that actually need online, like maybe some dailies or weeklies, whatever they're doing with it, if there's actually features that really need that, just have them turn off, have it be toggleable. I mean, we don't need to be forced, especially if you're playing online. And then the third reason why you need an internet connection if you're playing the game solo is so you can play with your friends. So in the response asking if you need an internet connection to play by yourself, they said, yeah, no, you need an internet connection because, you gotta play with your friends. Like, come on. I mean, I know it's an all-encompassing kind of response to kind of clarify their position, but still, it's a little funny. But overall, it's worrisome how the kind of gaming industry, and by gaming industry, I'm, kind of putting a blanketing term over that, but we are seeing more and more the AAA title, developers and publishers pushing more for an always online internet connection, because that allows them to do what they want to do even better, which is milk as much money as possible to you. And if they have all these things which they're trying to do with live services, and they're trying to turn every single game into a live service that you keep coming back to and you keep spending money in, the best way to do that is to have it be always online. So if they release some new content that they want to sell you, they can just offer it to you, and just by having you constantly connected to the internet, they are in control of your experience. Because if the game is offline, that means they no longer have control, and that scares them, because then they can't use all of their slimy tactics to get you to buy what they want you to buy constantly. And that's ultimately, I mean, what sucks. And, you know, you played a game in your childhood 20 years ago and you want to go revisit it and you still have your console, yeah, sure, just, you know, go plug it in and just put the disc in or the cartridge in, whatever it is, and you just turn it on and you're playing the game. Nowadays, it's feeling like I'm a little scared because in 20 years, all these game consoles I have, you know, the PS4 and Nintendo Switch, all these things like that, sometimes I'm a little worried. Will I be able to in just 20, 30 years, you know, with my kids, can I have them look in the attic and find some weird console and they plug it in and they have all this one, you know, because when I was a kid, that was so cool. I found these old consoles my parents had and I was like, oh, what is this? And then I played them and it was awesome because, you know, they did not require an online internet connection. And I mean, to be fair, there wasn't the internet all the way back then, but still, it's kind of sad to know that we won't be able to possibly do that with how many games are starting to do this. And obviously there's emulators and stuff like that, but that's kind of hard to do with an always online game. I mean, we have some examples of it, like with all these private servers for MMOs and stuff like that, especially for things that have been shut down. You know, you have like, what is it, the Toontown? I mean, that was shut down, but we still have a private server that people are running, so there's a chance, you know, you could play it, but it's not just a for sure guarantee, and that's a little bit sad. So overall, I'm still interested in Beyond Good and Evil 2. It does look, you know, interesting, so I'll have to keep, you know, seeing what's going on with it, but it definitely makes me a lot less interested to know that it's gonna always need internet connection. And not only necessarily because I don't have good internet, I have great internet. That's not the problem. The problem is the fact that they're doing it just so they can solely shove whatever microtransactions or whatever they want into you at any time, and it's just such a control thing, and it's stupid. But overall, that's just kind of my opinion. If you have any other opinions about this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them all. If you guys enjoyed this video, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more content. New videos come out every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And like always, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.